Hello, and welcome to the Pasha Show. My name is Pasha, and this is the show where we learn why capitalism is awesome. We have a whole long show ahead of us, a whole big world to fix. But before we get started, I want to tell you one thing. Even though this show has my name in the title, this show is not about me. It is about you, the heroes. And who are the heroes? The people who watch this show. You're the folk who says, something's got to be done. And you are doing something. You are watching YouTube. So people sometimes ask me, Pasha, why do you hate government so much? And I sometimes respond with the following story. Back when I was 10, and I was walking back to the bus stop. I was walking back from my ridiculously boring public middle school. And I was going to get on the ridiculously crowded public bus. I was walking along the sidewalk with my friend, and all of a sudden, I see a car suddenly stop. Tires screech, and I look over, and I see a stopped car, and a body lying in front of it. And I was surprised, what's going on? And the driver got out, the passenger got out as well. They took the body that was lying in front of them. It was a kid, a young boy, maybe 14, 15. He was wearing a white shirt, the same white shirt I was wearing. He was probably going to the same school. And they tossed him in the trunk. And they drove away. One would hope they drove away to a hospital. And then I was shocked. I was 10 at the time. I was thinking, wait, did he die? Did I just see somebody die in front of my eyes? And I went back home and I talked to Mom, and Mom said, yeah, it's sad, but it happens. And then I started wondering, is that normal? Are people supposed to be dying this way? And I kind of have been wondering that on and off ever since. And only recently have I been able to come up with a satisfying answer. Satisfying not in terms of excusing this, but in terms of explaining. Which brings us to today's PowerPoint. Cars don't kill people. Governments do. You see, we have this idea in America and a lot of other countries as well that government should build roads. Where did that idea come from? It probably came from some ancient Rome. Government built roads there, and this idea just carried along through history and never got questioned. Well, you, the heroes, may have questioned this, but in general, it never got questioned. Monarchy got questioned. A lot of religion got questioned. A lot of other bullshit got questioned. But this idea never got questioned. So now when we have 30,000 people dying every year, what's your reaction? Your reaction is like, oh, it's their fault, Pasha. Don't worry about it. They get drunk, they're not careful, they talk on their cell phones, they don't wear seat belts, all the stuff you want to blame on human nature. Anytime you say, oh, it's the people's fault, chances are somebody has set up a system which doesn't take human nature into account. Let me give you an analogy. let's pretend for a second that government subsidized bullets. So bullets are free. And therefore a lot of people have got more guns in their houses than normally. And therefore a lot of people are less careful with guns. So there may be more gun accidents. So let's say there are 100 more gun accidents every year that are fatal. And a liberal would be like, oh no, look at this is terrible. Government is subsidizing guns. And then you're like, okay, I don't like that either. But when 30,000 people die every year because the government subsidized roads, do you do the same? Do you think the same way? Do you think, oh, government subsidized roads, so it's killing 30,000 people a year? And let me, before I keep repeating that number, let me put that number into perspective. That's 9/11 every month. Steel strikes concrete. Shattered glass everywhere. 3,000 people dead. Is that a terrorist attack? No. It's just another month of car accidents. Nothing to see. Move along. Move along. Just to let you know how I feel about that. Imagine you, the hero, travel back in time into 15th century Mexico and visit the Aztecs. You come in and there's a party. You're excited. It's a cultural experience. You come into the table, you eat some meat, it tastes a little weird, but you're okay. And then everybody gets together, they gather around a temple, and a big priest gives a nice speech, and then everybody seems to be waiting for something. And all of a sudden, a big moment comes, they bring out a person and start cutting out his heart. And then you're like, what the fuck? You start wondering, whoa, is this normal? You ask a person next to you, did they volunteer? No, sometimes yes, sometimes no. You start getting freaked out. You start wondering, you start being culturally sensitive. Maybe one or two people is fine. It happens. It's for the party. And then you ask another person next to you, so how many people do you sacrifice every year? And they say 20,000. Really? 20,000? And then cultural sensitivity goes away and you start saying this is fucked up. So let's come back to the 21st century. You see, when the Aztecs killed 30,000 people a year, it's called uncivilized because they did it to please the gods. When US government builds roads to kill 30,000 people a year, that's civilized because it's for the economy. See, this is the difference between uncivilized and civilized. One sacrificed people for the gods and one for the economy. It's very simple. This is the secret of civilization. God's economy. Well, actually it's not that different. It's the same bullshit and it's bad for you. Now, when I compare this to a religious idea, I don't just want to do a pretty analogy. You see, this idea that government should build roads never got questioned scientifically. There's no deep economic analysis which goes and looks at every single road and says, is this worth to the society? So what would that analysis involve? That would involve saying, let's look at all the costs and let's look at the benefits and see if the costs outweigh the benefits. So what are the costs? The costs are the cost of land, the cost of construction, the cost of maintenance, the cost of enforcement on this road, the cost of noise pollution, the cost of real estate, the cost of incentivizing death on those roads, the cost of cleaning up those roads from child's brains, the cost of incentivizing oil pollution, and the cost of things like incentivizing oil spills. And what is the benefit? The benefit is transporting goods more efficiently. Good benefit, don't get me wrong, very important. Oh, it's a good benefit transporting goods more efficiently by road. It actually takes away from the benefits of transporting goods more efficiently by train, by sea, by air, by subway, and walking. So we have all these alternatives to the road and all these disadvantages. So was there a big economic analysis that says, okay, no, roads are the most efficient thing in the world? No, there was not. It's just a religious idea. I don't mean religious in a bad way. I mean religious in a untested, unscientific way. And it kills people. And not only does it kill people, it robs us of a lot of the cool things we could have if we didn't have roads. Let's look at a suburb in America today. You walk by a suburb, do you ever see children playing on the street? No. You never see children playing on the street because they could be run over by a car. It happens all the time, so you have to keep your children in the house. It's not that there is a cost to the death of children, it's the fear of death that is also a huge cost. So instead of having an awesome playground right next to your house, an awesome grocery store right next to your house, which you can walk to, don't need a car, you have a road. Why do you have a road? The government said so. And maybe some neighborhood says, oh, maybe we get some money together and buy the land, and then we get a playground for our kids. No! No playground, road. Why? The government said so. It's good for the economy. But we can pay. Therefore, it's important to us to have a playground. No playground. Fuck you. That's it. That's how government works. And then people are like, wait a second. Are you really suggesting government should stop building roads? Yes, I'm suggesting that. Not only am I suggesting they should stop building roads, they should sell existing ones, starting with the most dangerous. Yes, that's right. Look at the roads where the most people die and sell them and make them non-roads. You will save lots of lives. Will you impact the economy? Well, if you find a buyer, chances are he will use it much better. Maybe he'll build a nightclub. Maybe he'll build a little school. Maybe he'll decorate with flowers and have the shops close by, get more customers walking through. So on that happy note, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more of the Pasha Show.